Jumbo! Good morning, everybody. It is the 28th. 28th. It's a Wednesday, right? Thursday. It's a Thursday. I don't know. Let me do it this way. Yes, it's a Thursday. Thursday, the 28th of September, 2017. It's going to be the best Thursday ever, otherwise known as Thor's Day. Put your hammers in the sky, bro. Let me remind you that trading Forex is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Skull! Please stay small. Stay humble. I think I'll wear a watch today. Focus on the long term. Never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Purple and crimson don't look good together. Feels like watching it. Oh, hey, I told you about the shoes the other day. Check that out. Oh, I guess you're not going to be able to see it. Ooh, look at that. Yeah. Pretty fly for a white guy. Dope. Yeah. So I just got back from Dads with Donuts over at the elementary school with my kids. All these dads walking around dressed like they have real jobs. And I'm cruising around in white denim, red shoes. They're like, what the hell does that guy do? I'm like, I'm a stripper. I just got home, man. I've been out all night. I work nights. What can I say? Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's just funny to see like people with real jobs. I'm like, it's so depressing. I feel bad for, well, not really, but it's just weird. Like, it really feels weird. I'm like, wow, these idiots have jobs. Golly. And they're going to get in their truck and drive to Atlanta. Oh, my God. Well, you got to have the right skin type, Ryan. That's all. Anyways, hi, my name is Wayne. I'm a currency trader. I love being a currency trader. I love going to Dads with Donuts, looking at all the other dads and feeling sorry for them. But, you know, somebody has to work in the coal mine, as long as it's not me. So I do these sessions 7:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, here at Forex.Today. Yeah, God, you can get the black lung. Do these sessions Monday through Friday, here at Forex.Today. My overriding goal is to help you become a successful trader. And I do that by teaching you how to fish, not catch fish for you, so that you can survive and thrive. This is our hour of power. This is 2 hours before the New York Open, and it's approximately London lunch. So it's a good time to get together as a community. So thank you for your patience, your loyalty, your respect, and all those things that you give me every day. I appreciate you. I hope you appreciate me. I don't know, Pete. Maybe a week, maybe a month. I don't know. Maybe. Depends. It's kind of a busy time for me, as one would imagine. But let's talk about thinking about it. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Hopefully you see the colors fine. German CPI. Right on, Johnny. So the theme the last, I guess, 7 days, 5 trading days, is that we're at the monthly extremes, and we should not expect much more, if anything. Oh, it all matters, John, right? It all matters. Just remember, it's more than more than a singularity in the price time continuum. What you want to look at is the trend over time in such matters. Okay, so it's not, and more interestingly, does it make the central bank change its policy? So if there's an upward improvement in inflation, then the central bank's going to be using that information in its decision-making processes. And then all of a sudden, if today's CPI is ginormously higher than the trend, and then even the next one, if that's even high, then the new trend could be acceleration, not just positive, but accelerating and positive. That may force the central bank to change, and that's what matters. Okay? It's not just today's number, it's the interpretation of today's number. A lot of people mix that up too. I mean, we've been talking about the misuse of fundamentals. I think we talked about it a couple of times recently. That'd be another one. Like, it's not that today is good or bad. It's in the context of the policy decisions. Okay? So anyways, going back to the extreme targets, this is where you got to be a little concerned and a little wary. Starting with WTI, my upside emotional target is 55. I think we have a better target than that, but we're going from a 45 to 55 area is what I said, except 45 wasn't the bottom, 46 was the bottom. So are we in a 46.56 or 46.54 range? I don't know. But we're down to what, 2 more trading days in the month? And we have officially completed the target. You have to decide whether you want to buy this breakout. We're not trading like a breakout. Okay. And some might be surprised on this move. We talked about it 2 months ago. Definitely in July. Okay. And we talked about it a lot yesterday about how I came to that conclusion. Oh, that's right. I did the supply and demand analysis. Drew the curves and everything for you, so we don't need to talk about it again. So you just need to decide, are you going to take the breakout or not? Okay. What should we expect here? Well, you should highlight the old resistance. So if you're still a bull, that's what you'd expect, wouldn't it be? Ride the 21, absolutely. Ride price action, role reversal. So let's say you don't like moving averages. Well, based on price action, you do the same thing. Or how about down to the 21, next 5-8 cross up? That works too. You might want to use oscillators. Down to the roll reversal, and let me do it with the drawing tool. You know, something like this. As long as you're at support. Remember, you have to be at support first. So maybe it's a pivot, maybe it's a psych, maybe it's a roll reversal. Whatever, man. The decision that is most important is whether you're still a bull or not. Looking at the 15-minute chart, it's amazing coincidence how the pivots have played a role in this, huh? I mean, really, I don't know how long you've been trading, but if you let's say traded for a few years but never used pivot points, there are probably plenty of times where you were like just baffled that it stopped at 125.17. You're like 125.17. You know what I mean? You're like, why there? Right? So it's nice to now know. And then boom. Yeah. So I'm not in a bad mood today, which is good. Wayne, have you ever been in a hedge fund and seen what they use aside from pivots? You talk about it like a hedge fund is some like I don't know, like some I don't know what it's like. There is no such thing, is I guess is what I'm trying to get to. Like, every hedge fund is different. No hedge fund is the same. So I'm not sure what you mean. You are now, yeah. But yeah. So we're back down into here. Once again, you could have, I don't know what, the 15th of the month, just taken the whole 2 weeks off, and we're at the same price again. You could have skipped the downside, skipped the upside, just it gone away. But see, when you go away, you skip the opportunity to lose money. Yeah, pesos climbing. We talked about it on Monday, I think it was, because Friday's the last day of the month, so tomorrow's the last day of the month. And are people going to get paid then, or do you have to get paid on the first? Is it going to move on Friday? Is it going to move on Monday? Oh, is that right, Brooke? You didn't watch the video? Really? Wow. Oh, watch Tuesdays. So, anyways, it would might move a little bit on tomorrow, might move a little bit on Monday, something like that, right? So I guess why don't we just go look at that? Okay. So remember, you were supposed to predict the future, right? Robert, it only happens the months I tell you. 2 months ago it didn't happen, but I told you 2 months ago it wouldn't happen. But anyways. So if you're tried to predict the future and you knew tomorrow the Mexican peso was going to strengthen moderately and then it would strengthen again on Monday moderately, what would you do with that information? Would you sell at resistance? Oh, wait, this is resistance. Did you know that that's the predicted high for the month? That on the first day of September, it's now the 28th day of September. On the first day of September, my true love came to me. We said the high would be right here. Isn't that neat? Makes you wonder why it rallied yesterday just to hit the target. Could be a rabbit, could be. It's like spooky, isn't it? So the thing is, if you knew it was going to fall tomorrow, would you sell it today at resistance? If you were at the price you predicted 28 days ago to be the top? I mean, it sounds funny, right? 28 days ago, you predicted that this would be the top of the month. Would you sell there if you predicted it would fall tomorrow and the next day? And maybe the next day. I mean, it's kind of funny when you put in that context, right? So you predicted it could go, you predicted this would be the high, and then you predict it would fall for a few days. It's a little funny. So anyways, what would you do armed with this crystal ball of yours? Could you make money if you knew the future? What would you do if you did have a crystal ball? See, what you don't know is if you look in the mirror, you're the crystal ball. But you can't see it because a crystal ball looking in the mirror doesn't see himself for what he truly is because he's transparent. The crystal ball is like, what mirror? That's deep. Oh, that's deep. So you don't see it yet, but you are the crystal ball. You're the one supposed to be predicting the future. So you have to take my word for it. You just simply can't see it. Wow. It's crazy, right? So anyways, so so go, Peter would be, I'd go all in. But the thing is, you're supposed to be able to predict the future all the time. So like you just know this is supposed to fall. Do you sell? I don't know what you do. Okay. So somebody asked a basic question about this, so let me just assume that this should be covered. Okay. All right. This was a day we expected this pair to fall. This day, we said, you know what? It might not fall this month for various reasons. So be extremely cautious. On this day, we said this pair would fall. Okay. You can even see, here's the first target. Okay. You're like, well, that is, by the way, monthly support. What an amazing coincidence. that's the first level of support for the month of September, and we didn't get any lower. That's smart, right? So anyways, we're coming up to the next red line. Tomorrow and Monday, we would expect this to head down. Let's say to at least here. Okay. Yeah, James, well, one day when you're a high roller, you should be able to get a bigger institutional account that would pay you higher swap. Because peso is hot money. What is the interest rate in Mexico?
Here's a summary from Fox News.
6.5.
Mexico raises benchmark interest rate to 6.50%. Mexico City, Mexico's central bank says it has raised its benchmark interest rate by a half point to 6.50%.
That's pretty good. Hot money. Okay, hot money. So, what? Because you're probably a small trader. Okay? Why are you not earning the full swap? Because when you trade, a broker makes 12 cents in revenue. Okay? So if you have, if you are a high roller where you make enough money on swap to earn an income for your business, and I mean just imagine you have enough money where the interest is significant, then you would want an account that reflected that, but then that means you're trading lot sizes that are huge. Right? You have a couple of billion in the account and 100 million in cash here, 100 million in cash there. And you're like, wow, I should be collecting the swap on this. Because every time I trade, my broker makes $40,000 in spread. Yeah, well then you know what? The broker's going to pass it on. Right? But right now, when you're paying your broker 12 cents in spread, they do have bills to pay. They do have licenses that need to be paid. They do have employees that need to be paid, and customer service that people need to get paid, and compliance people need to get paid, and licenses and regulation. They all need to get paid. So in this case, small accounts often don't get full swaps. Right? That's all. It's okay. Don't get upset. No one's gypping you. Just, right? But if you had millions of dollars in cash to put into an account, I'm sure you can negotiate a better deal. You're like, I want a high swap account. I'm going to do some carry trading. Cool. I think what most people ask for now in the retail world is, I want a smaller spread because 1.5 pips is too much. I can't make money. I need to have less than 1 pip spread so I can make money because I only make 4 pips per trade, right? And the funny thing is most of those brokers that give you really small spreads, they slip you every time anyways. You never get it. So that's why TradersWay is just straight up honest. You get a decent spread. You can have a variable spread. You can have you can have a fixed spread. You could do the ECN model, whatever you want, whatever works. There's no games and stuff. Right on. TJ, join TradersWay. See your diamond, TJ. Whoop, put your diamond in the sky. Nice. So anyways, just like that's usually what retail traders want. Diamond, right? I need cheaper. So anyways, and by the way, I did third-party testing. TradersWay's execution speed is very good, especially compared to the big firms. They're really slow. Why are they slow? Maybe they're slipping you. By slow, I mean it takes a half a second longer. What's the likelihood if it takes a half a second longer to execute a trade that the trade has moved 1 pip? Craig, during NFP, you probably get the intermarket freezing. Tristan says happened to every day on FXM. Well, okay, they are one of the big firms. So it's just funny when you look at it, you're like, wow, they'll offer you a spread of 0.3, but it takes them 3/4 of a second or 2 seconds longer than other people. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, I wonder if that's by design. Am I really paying that spread or am I paying 2.3? But whatever, I'm not here to talk about that. What a funky mood I've been in all week, huh? So, oh yeah, this is the failed role reversal. That's fine. Has there been an opportunity to trade? Depends on where you see the breakout as having occurred. Let's see. Is it plausible that you were able to sell in here somewhere based on just a breakout trade? Trying to get it properly. It's not quite allowing me. Yeah, it's plausible. You didn't make much. Now you're vulnerable to a higher high. Right? I would have liked to have had that happen down in here and then up, but whatever. I'm just saying on a small time frame, this is a pretty significant move up. It should have fallen here, but okay. I like to see hardcore support, so I'd rather see this. So maybe that's still setting up. I don't know. USD yen. Once again, I don't know if I covered this. Maybe I did. Amazing coincidence that we headed up, hit the target, and stopped. What is the pattern we talked about on Monday or Tuesday? Well, I'll go ahead and answer that. M2, which is exactly the bottom, predicts M4, which is exactly the top. And this represents 20% of the entire foreign exchange market, otherwise known as $1 trillion in cash every day. And the pattern that I teach you is this line to that top. Isn't that interesting? So if you go back to a book I wrote almost 10 years ago, it says, if this line here is your bottom, that line is your predicted top. What an amazing coincidence. It's remarkable, isn't it? So anyways, that's gold again. I don't know what I want to do today. I guess we'll look at some yens. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. So this is the predicted low for the month of September. So we fell and hit it and stopped. Where's the first month of the first day of September? Hang on. Maybe that, let me reset the chart. Maybe that's old data. No? Do 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 do. Wait, that's the weekly. That's what it is. All right. Sorry. I think these settings are slightly different. I'm gonna change this. Is that my all pivot template? Let's see. It is, isn't it? And then I'm gonna go to clusters. All right, that I do like this better. All right, so I mixed up my weeklies, which makes a heck of a lot more sense. All right, so let's go to the 4 hour and the first. The first day of September, Forex gave to me. Okay, good. Okay, I'll go with this. What pivot, what monthly pivot is the bottom for the month of September? There's a lot going on. Anybody? Peter says M2. Brady says M2. Anybody else? What is the monthly pivot low? What pivot is the monthly low for the month of September? I have two people saying monthly M2. Martin van Oostrom says M2. Frank says M2. We have some M1s and stuff. This is M2. Hang on, I got to turn the drawing tool on. Nope. Okay. This is M2, monthly M2. So if you answered M2, you were correct. What top does that predict? Somewhere between 133.40 and 134.70. We'll just say that whole zone. We'll call it, oh, I don't know, the pivot profit zone. Seems pretty good. So you guys made money on that, right? Thank you, bro. Wasn't here. That was all month. How about this? You ready? Wait for it. When you see a double bottom at support, what do you look for next to confirm the double bottom has been validated? How do you validate a double bottom? At support. You have to have the support first, monthly M2. Double bottom, great. Then you look for the higher high, which would be here. And then how do you trade it? You still haven't made a trade yet. You buy at the roll reversal. Let's see. Huh. Okay. That's doable, huh? You know how to do it. It's not like I just invented that this month. Yes. So you could have bought the double bottom, right? So for example, here's the M2 to M4, taking profit, okay? Buy the next roll reversal, okay? Or you could stay in it. So you have to ask yourself, and this comes down to the plan, are you doing a monthly swing or a weekly swing? The methodology is the same. The system. It sounds so funny, Brady, when you say it that way. This is in October will be my first month with the system. To me, it's not a system, it's just like the truth. Veritas, as they say at Harvard. Yeah. So I'm just trying to reinforce that, like, you know, candlestick patterns, moving averages, weekly pivots, monthly pivots, right? They're all kind of telling you the same thing, right? There's 3 or 4 different ways to trade this. Right? Cool, right? Because you can see this one too, right? Oops. You may be interested to learn that this double bottom, the right of the bottom, right here, is about the 17th. The next day is the 19th, right? Or 21st or whatever. So let's average it out. Let's say it's the 20th of the month. Is that kind of like the third week of August? Cool. Now I believe on my December 20th interview, I talked about that anyways, that I did on FX3, followed by a higher high. Seems to me you'd be looking for a higher low, right? Double bottom at the support, higher high. Seems to me that you'd be thinking about a higher low, right? See the patterns? You can do this. Okay, you can do this, guys. You got this. Beast is too crazy to even look at. This one when done. This is a bucket of ice water, right? That pattern doesn't belong in a bullish trend. So I got knocked out of my long at break even. When we did, it was a daily 21 play. I think I bought in here 2-3 days ago, whatever it was. So I'm not long anymore. Had the opportunity. Cost me nothing. It was a free opportunity because I moved my stop to break even. I knew I was buying it high. I mean, it was the daily 21, but you know, pretty late in the game. Should have been buying down here. So we'll see what happens next month. Carol says, when do you move your stop loss to break even? There's no answer to that, Carol. So in this case, I was up against resistance anyways. I'm pretty late in the cycle, so I'm going to manage my risk a little more prudently. But if I felt like I was in the beginning of the cycle, then my stop probably, right? So like my CAD yen trade. Okay, I walked you guys through that one day by day by day. Decision-making process we talked about for hours, set it all up. I bought it where we said we'd buy it. I held it. I took profit. We discussed it for 2 or 3 days. Why I'm considering taking profit, all that kind of stuff. Well, in that trade, I was up 300 pips and I still had 100 pip stop loss below my entry. And I said, you know what? Now that I'm up 300 pips, I'm thinking about moving my stop to break even. But I don't always trade that way. That was that trade plan, right? So, in fact, do we even have that one? Let's go here. Okay, let's go back to here. Where did I take profit? the weekly monthly cluster at 90.5. Huh. So that would have been about the 15th of the month. You see? 2 weeks ago. What did I miss out? Nothing. Except you know, I don't even have to tell you, you've heard other people tend to lose a lot of money in markets like this. Am I right? It may not be you, but you've heard that in situations like this, people lose a lot of money, right? Because it broke out to the downside, so you were going to sell it here. Then that didn't work, and it reversed and made a higher high, so then you bought it here. Slice, dice, swinging both ways like a broken gate. You're getting frustrated, and you hate pivot points now, and all kinds of things, right? But the trade that you and I walked through, pip by pip, we got out in here and walked away, done. So what was the lesson? And I think this is the actual one where we talked about, why not just take the rest of the month off, volunteer at a museum. Right? But anyways. That one, what did we get 450 pips out of that? We got out and the market stopped. What was the lesson you learned? Isn't that why we have probabilities? You get out because it probably won't go higher. That's what it means, right? Cool. So anyways, cool. I'm glad it worked out, hopefully in a way that will stick with you. Cable next. All right, well, look at some cable. Okay. So where's the shocker? Okay. So let's see. Let's take a look at this. I'll do it on the 1 hour. Okay. So if you were a bear on Monday morning and you've taken the swing trading course, you would have been looking to sell in here, and your target would be here. Great. And I don't know, but maybe, just maybe, this pivot was important and this pivot was important. Maybe. Those monthly pivots. Maybe. Brooke, I shorted, and took profit. And Martin took profit. Cool. So what's the question? All right. Well, then you do something like this. The more conservative trader would look for something like this. So you got to decide where you end up buying. Are you going to look to buy here, or are you going to look to buy here? Either way, your stop is below the low. Dude, I'm getting sick of doing 6 hours a day of homework. I only got 3 more years, though. Gotten 3 grades so far this semester. 95%, 95.24%, and last night I got my 3rd grade, 95.64. So, yay, I'm improving. Thanks. And it's enough where people are struggling with the class. So, you know, I don't think Harvard's known for being easy. so anyways, yeah. Now, right? So, yeah. No, Ryan, so Ryan, you've taken at least 1 micro and 1 macro class now, right? So I'm sure you'd be fine. Right? So like calculating dead weight loss, you know what I mean? You could do that, right? Yeah. Robert, I'm afraid they're going to figure out they made a mistake with me. They're like, dude, really? It's the corduroy jacket with the leather elbows. They're like, yeah, it's a new program, right? But Ryan, I know you've taken classes, but have you done like that in microeconomics, calculating dead weight loss? No, all right, that kind of stuff. All right. Well, we don't have to get into it, right? But it's like, all right, so you probably have you done like price floors and price ceilings and government interventions into competitive markets? Now they create producer and consumer surpluses, but the floors or ceilings or quotas creates dead weight loss. That's what it is. So long story short, you can prove through economics that when the government gets involved, they screw everything up and they have good intentions, but they end up making everything worse. So if they say, well, for the good of the people, we will make sure that rent is affordable because you got to live somewhere. But then it makes a shortage of housing so now people don't have places to live. You see, like the government says, we want to make sure people have affordable places to live. So we'll put a cap on how much rent they pay, and then inevitably people don't have a place to live now. So the government F's it all up. Right? Again, and these are not opinions, it's just microeconomics. So Robert brings up another one, minimum wage. That's a price floor. That's the minimum. So what ends up happening, and again, this is not a political opinion, if you could just draw all the graphs and do this and do that, right? Does it create a surplus or does it create a shortage? And that's what all these things can tell you. And then what is optimal? What is this? And if that is not optimal, what is the suboptimal result of the floor, ceiling, or quota? Right? Like you can only have so much gasoline or whatever it is, right? then where's the waste, the dead weight, that kind of stuff. And it's actually quite interesting. Long story short, if you just let the free market work, it always finds the optimal result. You don't pay more than you're willing to pay for something, right? The only thing you're willing to pay too much for is essentially like life-saving medicine. So, for example, if electricity goes up 50%, you're going to try to find ways probably to save on your electricity. At least you'll change your behavior, right? Turn the lights off when you're not in the room. Turn the temperature up a little bit so you don't use so much air conditioning. All this kind of stuff, right? Solar panels, so you make long-term investments. It'll pay back based on the money you save. But whatever, you start to change your behavior, right? Insulin prices go up 50%. What do you do as a diabetic? Right? Yeah, but you buy the insulin, right? Yeah, you pay more. Right? You have breast cancer. And the drugs go up 50% in price. What do you do? Just like, well, I'll just stop. I mean, the probability of getting cancer again and dying is extremely high. So you're like, well, dang it, I'm going to have to pay 50% more, right? Your quantity doesn't change with price. That's weird. I mean, I feel like I need to be drawing a chart down here. But anyway, so that's fixed. It's a vertical line. Right? Like money. The amount of money is the amount of money is the amount of money, regardless of the interest rate. But as it shifts left and right, it moves up and down the curve and changes, blah, blah, blah. But whatever. So that's the kind of crap that I'm doing with. You get some really interesting looking charts, right? Should I even try? Let's. Could try, and I'm just oops, that was supposed to be a black marker, but anyways, no, you know what, I'm gonna redo it. It was supposed to be black. Okay. Quantity, price. Oh, look at the time, I gotta go. Shoot. Sorry, guys. My pool engineer is here. Gotta go. Sorry. We'll do it tomorrow, maybe. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Thank you for being a client of TradersWay. Sorry, I forgot the time.